Hey guys, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, FredMcCoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day.
I've been at doctor's office. Reason we ain't made no videos in a couple of days. I was telling my doctor, and it's probably a little bit personal, but I was telling the doctor that I was having a bowel movement every morning about 7 o'clock. And doctor, he said, Fred, that ain't no problem with a man of your age to have a regular bowel movement like that, regular timing. And I interrupted him. I said, Doc, you don't understand. I'm having a bowel movement every morning about 7 o'clock, and I don't usually wake up till about 9:30. Hey guys, Sheila and I was watching the Donald Trump last night, the Republican rally, and how Donald's demeanor has changed, how Donald's perspective on life has changed, and trying to be a nicer fella and all that, you know. And I can relate to President Trump. I can relate to, you know, the way he's been treated and the way that he's tried to do things. And I don't want to compare myself to the President of the United States, but I do want to explain something. And I'm so glad that Sheila and I opened. Sheila's always wanted to have comments on the videos. I didn't want them because it gives people a chance to come back on there and spread this propaganda. They can come back on there. We did the first video, first one we ever done, we did, and they come on there and say, well, I read in the book where this happened, or I read this, or I seen somebody on the History Channel and they said this. And well, it was incorrect. Just because you saw it on the History Channel or read it in a book doesn't make it true. And that's when we decided, or I decided, to be best keep the comments off. Now, I'm gonna try to make this video short, but since we put those videos, oh, you're back there smiling. I seen that smile come over her face. So I am. I'm gonna try to keep it short, but I wanna respond to some comments. And guys, you've had some good comments on there. There's no place for them because, you know, we want to discuss, we want to put the history out. We want to put, and that's why we try to prove with documentation and stuff, as much stuff as we can, so we don't have to debate it. There's enough proof there that you can look at it and watch the video, and if you're open-minded and you're using your senses, you can say, hey, case closed. It's proven. And if it's not proven, at least you've seen the other side and you can weigh out the pros and the cons. But we made those couple of videos. You know, we didn't start these videos on this gun. Don't want to do another video on the gun, but I've got to mention it because that's what this video is about, because that's where these comments came from. And where the fellas done the video on, you know, there was the first video saying this gun is the gun in the picture. Of course, we made a video that it's not. Actually, we made the video that it's not. They changed the little hangers that the gun's on till you couldn't see it. They different things that was deceptive, but we didn't say nothing until the other day, and they made another video, and they had a good time making that video, and they tried to act like the gun's still the gun. It was just that he had several guns and so forth, and we're not talking about several guns. We were talking about that specific gun. You know, people can change things. They can change wording. They can change pictures. They can hide different things. But we were talking about that gun not being the gun in that picture. Case closed. It's not. When we done this last video, when we brought that out, one gentleman said, and I'm not, these guys had some good comments. If they were sincere, if it's not somebody's family or somebody just taking up for somebody, if they're actually, but this is the way people looks at things in life.
Okay.
I have never seen, the first one said, all this is getting out of control. I honestly don't think he mentioned any names, and if it wasn't for this video, I wouldn't have never known it. You claim not wanting to bicker, but it seems like you take every opportunity to attack. both facilities can have great service to the community. Maybe we worry less about what others are doing. Guys, it's not about that. The McCoy family, after Mother died, the McCoy family nobody's interested in opening this museum. We're not in competition. You can't compete. There's nobody that can compete with a collection that's been going on since the 30s and 40s. There's nobody. This was before the History Channel. Everybody started a museum. Everybody wrote books. Everybody done all kinds of things after the History Channel came out. There's nobody can compete with this collection, but it's where it is and what it's going to be until the family decides to either some of them help open it or run it or whatever. But it's Mom's collection and the family's collection now, and it'll remain. And if nothing else, we can enjoy it. But it's not about wanting to compare apples and oranges. It's not about both facilities can be great service to the community. It's not been a service to the community if you're saying something that's not true. If you're presenting something that's not true. You know, there was a comment, I didn't make a copy of it, but somebody made a comment and said, so-and-so's got all kinds of reproductions in there. That's not, well, there's not the Smithsonian, there's not a museum out there. We have things in here that's reproduction. We got a pair of boots over there, an old pair of Civil War boots that a friend of mine gave to us to put in the museum that would have been like the boots like Devil Anse wore. Those are not Devil Anse's boots, but they would have represented the kind of boot like they would have worn back during the Civil War. Sometimes in a museum you have things to show that would
that represents what they were at that date and time. Yeah.
That would represent what it would have looked like at that date and time if you don't have access to the original item. Now, we have got some original items, there's no doubt.
Sure.
We've got original items, but we've also got things just like Jack, that's not original. The difference in Jack and us, we don't represent it to be something that it's not, especially when there's no comparison. You know, there's a gun over there that I'm getting off of let's get off that. I don't want to.
Good.
Let's talk about this statement.
Okay.
So this gentleman says it's getting way out of control. I don't think he mentioned any names. Well, there's only 2 people that does videos on Hatfields and McCoys and Appalachia and all this. I mean, there's all kinds of videos out there, but regular videos where people's posting every day, every other day, so forth like that. That's them, and that's Sheila. When you get on there and you say, and a lot of people saw that video when we called him out that was not the gun, the first video, months ago.
Yeah.
And that was after Josh Garnes had even called us. And we put the video out, he called, and he said that he'd even noticed it.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just us, it was him and others that had noticed it. When you put out false history, that messes it up. And that's what another guy wrote and said, why does, you got some good history, but why do you always sound so mean? I saw about 4 o'clock this morning, I saw in there in the office, I was on the computer and somebody sent me a thing where they done a story on Wall Hatfield on a Facebook page. We've done videos and videos and videos on Wall Hatfield. We just done a video the other day. Sheila's got 100 videos probably that she's behind on, because we'll do videos on something and then something will come up more important to us and we do a video and she goes and puts it out, like she'll do this one today, because we felt it was important to respond to some of these comments. But they've got, this Facebook page has Wall Hatfield there. We've done videos at Wall Hatfield. Went to the prison. We've done videos where he's buried out in the parking lot. We've got videos. And this video had the great-grandson of Wall Hatfield, and it's a story from back in 2012. It's way back.
Okay.
And I think he's a bishop or something, and he's from Tazewell, Virginia, and he says that Wall Hatfield wasn't even involved in the cabin massacre. He don't know why he was charged. I'm not going to go into it because, like I said, we've got other videos. We just done one 2 or 3 weeks ago. I remember doing it. She's not even published yet.
Yeah.
Wall Hatfield wasn't charged with being at the cabin massacre. Wall Hatfield was charged with helping to kidnap and kill the 3 McCoy boys. But that's how you can take the history out of context, and these people that's really not up on it and just sees a story like that, and they think, oh, well, they put Walt Hatfield in prison and he was innocent. He was, the man speaks with a, she's looking at me. He wasn't charged with being at the cabin massacre. Walt Hatfield was convicted of killing the 3 McCoy boys. See, and that's how the play on words, and that's what's happened throughout the years. And I'm going to touch us right here, because this gentleman, he writes back, and he says, you claim not wanting to bicker, but it seems like every opportunity to attack. Guys, you know, if you're real nice and smooth talker, I used to work for a sheriff that stick that hand out and shake with everybody. He talked to them, pat them on the back when they'd come to the office, and after they'd leave, he said, and I'm sorry, but he'd say, sorry, rates me to death. And it wasn't just this one, it was time and time and time again. Everybody coming to the office would want a ticket taken care of, or somebody got out of jail or whatever. But he talked about these people like dogs behind their backs. He was very shady, and I never want to be like that. I never call Fred McCoy a a-hole, but I'll be an a-hole. And I've said this before, you know, they asked people one time, said, what do you think about Fred? And they said, well, you don't have to. We had a little country store where we was at. They said, well, one thing about it, you don't have to go down to the country store to see what Fred thinks about you, because that's where everybody would gather and gossip. He'll tell you to your face. Yeah. And I've always, all my life, I've been like that. I would prefer to be like that. It don't put off the best demeanor for you. People don't. But, you know, there's an old saying, as you get older, you know, when people get old and cranky and all this and that, you don't really care. You realize that friends that you once had or you thought you had, there's no such thing. And you realize that, and let's just preach the history, tell the history, tell it as nice as we can.
It's best.
But how do you correct somebody? You know, we corrected that gun in that first video, and it was over with and gone. It wasn't us that brought it back up. He says, oh, I didn't hear them mention your name. Well, who do you think they're talking about? At least I'm man enough to mention their name, because I know they're talking about me. And there's another way to tell it if you'll watch the video. You can pick up on it if you'll watch the video and the couple of remarks that they make. And I responded to that the other night. Sheila cut me out because she didn't feel I should respond to that. I won't now. But
nah.
I know who they're talking about. Now, if they were in the right, never hear from us. But they're on there telling you that we're trying to act like the gun was...
we're discrediting
their gun. And they're trying to act like that was the excuse. You know, he got tangled up on his words, and here I go again. But he started talking about Judy, and he started talking about this, and he said, then we got that troll that tried to discredit her. He wanted to go there. He couldn't. He was afraid to say anything that he wouldn't say the same thing that he said the last time, so he just went to the troll. How do you correct somebody, guys? How am I supposed to correct somebody when it not sound like I'm bickering, and it not sound like I'm complaining? This gentleman went on the next post. He said, I've never seen them mention your name. Maybe I missed it. It takes YouTube a long time to grow, even with fantastic content. And yes, bickering does grow content on your facility and community as well. I'm a history guy, so I get it. But fighting isn't going to do you, them, or the community any good. Negativity's killing your channel. Guys, thank you. Thank you for the response there. The gentleman that wrote that to the YouTube channel left it in the comments, but I don't really want to get on the comments and discuss. If you want to, if there's something, you can text me or email me. We're not going to use that for a debate channel, but thanks for that. But negativity, that channel's to correct history. We said when we retired we was going to start correcting history. That's our channel that we tell the Hatfield-McCoy feud history that we can prove. That's where we do it at. That's our mechanism for getting the word. You know, some of these people, false historians, they use the History Channel. History Channel lets them get on there and they laugh and tell fibs and tell lies. And newspapers, they tell all these stories too over the years, and book authors, and they print it, and people takes it for the truth. We're not trying to build a YouTube channel. Of course, you want as many views as you can get. I'd love for 1 million people to see some of the videos we got correcting the last peace treaty, the publicity stunt that was pulled. I'd love for 1 million people to see the Hubert Bay McCoy videos where they started the story that Hubert Bay McCoy, an unarmed man that was shot in the back of the head, said that he shot a police chief in the back 3 times in a brothel. I'd love for them to see the story of the Hatfield that made up that story on Hubert Bay McCoy, where he falsified and says that he served in the Vietnam War, the same one that come up with the publicity stunt for the peace treaty. You know, guys, I appreciate your feedback.
Yeah.
But it's not our goal to be YouTubers. It's not our goal to have the biggest YouTube channel or that it has to go. I've said it before. I just want the people that sees it to be knowledgeable, so when they see these comments out there on these Facebook pages and History Channel stuff, they can comment and say, hey, where's it at? My goal is to correct the fake information that's been put out for years. This ain't something that just happened yesterday, guys. These stories have been coming out for years and years and years, mostly by the West Virginia Hatfields, mostly by Coleman C. Hatfield, different Altina Waller, and these people all copied off each other and tried to, but they all favored Devil Anse because Devil Anse was he's a legend. They've turned him into a legend. You know, there's been so many false claims over the years, and I named some of them a while ago, the Hubert Bay McCoy. I wish people would go back and watch the Hubert Bay McCoy story. It's one of our first videos of how they took this young man. He joined reminds me of J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, a Marine. A Marine that's just been appointed by Donald Trump to be his vice president of the United States. 39-year-old J.D. Vance, corporal in the United States Marine Corps. And you know how he got in the Marine Corps? After 9/11, he went and joined the Marines to do his part. He wanted to do something, and that's what he did. Do you know what? I won't mention their names, okay. Do you know what these other people done? Instead of doing something constructive they could do, the Hatfield and the 2 McCoys from other states.
Well, you was talking about Hubert Bay too. Okay.
They went and act like they signed a peace treaty. They have to make peace between the Hatfields and McCoys. Hatfields and McCoys been getting along before, during, and after the feud. That was a publicity stunt. One of the most people died there. People died during the World Trade Center. They're using their death to promote themselves, and they went on to write books and write the forwards in books and get Henry Rifle Company to sponsor a rifle, a gun, and a pistol with their names on it like they're something, and all they are is liars. They're liars. They sued people over their property because they happen to own some graves. It's the most, and then people wonders why Fred, and thank you, the 2 gentlemen on there said, when the guy said, why is he so rude? And these gentlemen said, well, if it was your family, you'd get rude too. And that's exactly. We've had other people put people's pictures up on their YouTube channel and say, Uriah and Aunt Betty McCoy. And so bogus, you know, when you look and you see somebody's picture there, and that's not your great-great-grandparents. But that don't bother them as long as they've got a picture to put up there and to say that it's somebody. It's the same way with Floyd Hatfield. Coleman C. Hatfield couldn't find a picture of the real hog stealing Floyd. And we done it in the last video. It's over there in that book. Constable Floyd Hatfield. Preacher Anse Hatfield's brother, my great-great-uncle, a Hatfield, a constable. And he puts his picture in there because his name was also Floyd Hatfield. He was the son of George Hatfield. Hog Stillum Floyd, the one that stole Randall McCoy's pig, was the son of John Hatfield. Hog Stillum Floyd and Harriet Hatfield were brothers and sisters. Harriet is Cotton Top's mother. Harriet and Ellison Hatfield were first cousins. And it goes on and on. But people wonder why I get upset. It's gone on long enough. And you know, over the years, when you hear things over and over, and you've got a job, or you've got, you don't want to take on these people. For 24 years, since 2001, I think, is when they filed the lawsuit. I think when Ron and Bo McCoy filed the lawsuit against Barbara and John Vance, it was 2001. 2003, Ron and Bo McCoy, who just filed a lawsuit against John and Barbara Vance a couple years prior, got with Rio Hatfield. Rio Hatfield's the man that said he served in the Vietnam War. He didn't. Rio Hatfield's the man that told Dean King in 2011 that his grandfather, Alan Hatfield, was the police chief in Macon, West Virginia, and was shot in the back 3 times by a man in a brothel. And his grandfather turned around and shot and killed the man, and it turned out to be a McCoy. Lie. Total lie. Again, when you say something and you know it's not the truth, it's a lie. You know whether you served in Vietnam. I didn't serve in Vietnam. I didn't serve in Vietnam. You know when you serve in Vietnam. You would know whether you served in a war or not. Don't try to say something, then when you get caught up, try to reword it and twist the words around. You know exactly what people meant. I'm sorry if I sound mean sometimes. I apologize for that on the last video. I'm sorry if I sound mean, if my voice is loud, the tone's wrong. I'm sorry. I've said, don't listen to me. Don't look at me. Pay attention to what I say. Catch me in a lie. Catch me saying something that's incorrect and correct me. Because if you can correct me with proof, we've just took another step to correcting something else in history. And if you can't correct me and the evidence is there, then you'll have to accept what I'm saying. Don't look at how I say things. That's the way I am. I can't control that. That's my personality. I went in the Marine Corps at 17 years old. I've always spoke loud. I can't hear because I've shot all my life. I love guns. I shoot a lot and have shot a lot.
That's okay. That's good.
But by no one standing up over the years and speaking out, we now have a West Virginia narcissist, deserter, thief, and a bushwhacker, and a coward that is a hero. That's Devil Anse Hatfield. And we have a Kentucky resident that was bullied and a victim. And they say he was a troublemaker. Half his family's killed and murdered, house burnt down, but he's a troublemaker. Now guys, I want to tell you, on that shotgun, I just thought of something. Bushwhacker. A bushwhacker. Look it up in the dictionary. It's been shot at from the bush. I don't know that for a fact, but I would probably say bushwhacker. A bushwhacker, somebody that would get in hiding. He would get in the bush, in the woods, in the mountains, and he would pick somebody off.
Concealed.
Devil Anse was known. Cap Hatfield was known. Yeah, babe, concealed himself.
Yeah.
I pay attention to what you say. Sometimes Sheila says stuff and y'all probably say, why don't he acknowledge her? I do.
He does, but you're on a roll.
But she knows if I lose my train of thought, it's gone. And that's one reason I talk fast. That's one reason I talk loud. I get on a roll and I've got to get it out or I'll forget it. I'm also getting older, and my mother had dementia, and I probably got that coming on. That's why we're making these videos. Someday I won't remember these videos probably. So at least they'll be on a video where you guys can go out and either correct them or say, hey, that guy, and we were talking about bushwhacker. Guys, a bushwhacker shoots at you from the bush, from a distance. See, they're snipers, they're cowards. A bushwhacker is a coward. That's what I've always said about that shotgun. Going back to that one last comment, a bushwhacker. Devil Anse and Cap were known as bushwhackers. They shot at you from the bush. Do you really think they'd saw that barrel off of that shotgun and shoot at somebody from the bush? They'd have to be in the bush right beside the road as they drove by with a sawed-off shotgun like that. And that's why I say that for. See, the longer the choke, the longer the barrel, the wad stays together, and it's going to go at a distance before it starts to spread. In a sawed-off shotgun, as soon as it leaves that barrel, it spreads. So you couldn't be a bushwhacker unless you're standing here at the edge of the bush and they ride by on their horse and you just shoot them from me to Sheila, which is about 5 feet apart. Bushwhacker. They would use a rifle. They would use a long-barreled shotgun, something they could reach out and touch. Guys, I don't know. I appreciate you all's comments.
Yep, thank you all.
We appreciate it.
Sure.
We're not going to use those comments open for cause I'll argue. I'll argue. I'm an arguer. I'll try to prove you wrong. But that's not what we want with these videos. We don't want, one guy talked about if you want your channel to grow. If I wanted my channel to grow, we would have never turned off the comments. We would have left them comments open and we would have argued and argued and argued with all these West Virginia Kool-Aid drinking Devil Anse Hatfield fans, because they'll argue with you. Now they'll argue with you. And that would have upped the views, that would have upped. So it's not about wanting to argue to get views. If we wanted to do that, we would have left the comments open a long time ago. And we wouldn't have deleted some of the comments that's been made, because we don't want that there. If you want to brag on Sheila, brag on her channel, brag on how hard she works and how she loves everybody and there's not a mean bone in her body, and she works so hard at helping to research, and if it's not up on the top shelf, if it's not true, I can't say it. If it's in limbo, I can't say it. If I do say it, she edits it out without me knowing it, or she turns the camera off without me knowing it. That's Sheila. That's the person behind this channel. That's why I'd love to see her channel grow for her. But my point is to get the history out, because I figure someday I'm probably going to go way before Sheila, and she's going to have some videos here that it's going to have the history on. And that's my goal, is to put this history out. Thank you all for your comments, you guys that did comment.
That's right.
The constructive. None of you was real mean. None of you was mean. And the ones that took up without me even having to respond, they stepped in and said, hey,
Yeah.
that was your family.
That was
Hey,
nice. Thank you.
He's showing proof. Hey, how can you argue? Hey. Hi guys, we love you. And we enjoy doing our videos. I'll tell you one thing we're going to do. Sheila and I's talking, some of the family members. We are going to have one day that we're going to open this fall. We're going to open the museum one day this fall. And we're going to advertise it on this YouTube channel. We're going to be making a video one day, and we're just going to put on there November 3rd, October 27th, August 6th, whatever the date might be. And we're going to say we're going to be open that day. Anybody that's close by and you want to come by and look at the museum, there's no charge. It's free. Like I said, this was mother and grandma's and the families, and everybody's got stuff in here that's, you can look at it for free. Members or subscribers of Sheila's.
Right.
People that subscribe to her channel. That's going to be one requirement. You have to subscribe to her channel. And you might want to watch the channel, because that's where it's going to tell the date. We're going to be open Sunday the 6th, Saturday the 14th, whenever, it'll either be a Saturday or a Sunday, so people can get to it. There's no charge, it's free. You have to be a subscriber of Sheila's. She will check that. And you'll have a certain time, that we're going to be open here, that you'll just come in. We're not going to advertise it nowhere else.
Right.
The doors will be locked when you come. You'll tell her, I saw it on your YouTube video that you all were going to be open, and I'm a subscriber, and she'll check it. And come on in, look around. We want to do that for you because we got some faithful, or she does, some faithful viewers.
This is our way of saying thank you.
You got anything to say?
Just that we can't do it without all of you all watching and stuff, and we appreciate every time that you tune in and watch us. We both appreciate that very, very, very much. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Now, how do you guys think it is for her? You think you got it rough listening to some of my videos. Imagine being on her side where I say something, and even though it's the truth, I say it in a manner that she doesn't much care for, and now she's got to try to decide and decipher whether she wants to put it in the video or not, and so forth. So
it's okay.
I see where Sheila's got a rough road to hoe, but she's a very smart, very wise person, especially when it comes to the Hatfield-McCoy feud. There's nothing that I know about this feud or family history that Sheila doesn't know, or some of it come up with on her own just through research. So, all right, she'll do the closing.